Today, we embark on a journey beyond the earthly realm, to a point where celestial bodies and ancient legends collide. Our destination? The Osirion, or Temple of Abydos in Egypt, dedicated to the Egyptian deity Osiris, a location steeped in mystery and whispers of the ancient cosmos. We are about to blast off on a quest for cosmic truths hidden within the sands of time. Osiris, god of the underworld and beyond. In the pantheon of Egyptian deities, Osiris stands as a towering figure. Revered as the god of the afterlife, resurrection, and the Nile flood, he embodies the cycle of life and death, his influence reaching far beyond the earthly realm. His myth paints a picture of a benevolent ruler murdered by his jealous brother and brought back to life through the unwavering love of his wife Isis. Interestingly, Osiris was the only god in the Egyptian pantheon who actually came to Earth to rule. His purpose was to be a bringer of civilization. The mythologies claim he came to pre-dynastic Egypt to abolish cannibalism and to teach the arts of agriculture. He built the first temples and laid down fair laws for his people. He was given another name at this point, Onofris, meaning the good one. This was a part of his role as the fourth divine pharaoh. This puts his story on par with the ancient Anunnaki stories of Sumerian legend. He was often depicted with green skin, and although this certainly seems to make him ET in nature, most scholars claim it is because of his connection to rebirth and fertility. The story of Osiris. Osiris, the eldest son of the earth god Geb and the sky goddess Nut, ruled Egypt with wisdom and justice. He brought agriculture, law, and prosperity to his people, but his envious brother Seth lusted for power. In a treacherous act, Seth tricked Osiris into a coffin, sealed it shut, and threw it into the Nile. Isis, Osiris's devoted wife and sister, refused to let her husband's spirit fade. Through magic and unwavering love, she brought Osiris back to life, not for the earthly realm, but as the ruler of the underworld, the god of the afterlife. Osiris and Sirius, the dog star connection. Now turn your gaze to the heavens. There, twinkling in the celestial brilliance, lies Sirius, the dog star. For the ancient Egyptians, Sirius held immense significance. To them, Sirius A is often represented by Osiris's consort, Isis. The star's cyclical reappearance coincided with the Nile flood, vital for their agricultural civilization. This celestial dance was seen as the symbol of rebirth and rejuvenation, mirroring the resurrection of Osiris himself. The Dogon tribe in Mali, Africa, have reportedly had knowledge of Sirius B, a binary star to Sirius A, which is incredible because Sirius B is invisible to the naked eye. This tribe, which has been around since at least the 3rd century BC, has known of Sirius B and his binary connection to Sirius A for at least 400 years, according to their ancient manuscripts. How did they know about this without modern astronomy technology? To this day, the Dogons connect Osiris and their cosmic ancestry with Sirius B. The Dogon are incredibly familiar with the system, where a race of beings from Sirius was purported to have traveled from, imparting their knowledge upon the tribe hundreds of years ago. These beings were known as the Nomos. The Dogons say they were amphibious beings who apparently came out of the water to speak with them after dropping into the water from a ship from the stars. These beings, according to them, came from the same star system as the Egyptian god Osiris. This connection seems to go deeper than mere coincidence. Celestial alignments and symbolic echoes. Ancient Egyptian temples and pyramids often align with Sirius, suggesting a deep understanding of its movements and significance. Some scholars even propose that Osiris' soul resided within Sirius, making him a celestial being who governed both the earthly and cosmic realms. The Apkallu, seven sages. Many fringe scholars and archaeologists suggest a connection between the seven sages, or Apkallu, from ancient Mesopotamia and Osiris. These legendary beings served as bringers of civilization and seem to have been led by Osiris himself. Their knowledge has echoed through the ages and perhaps holds the key to a lost civilization, Atlantis, and possibly our ancient interstellar relations. The seven Apkallu were fascinating figures in ancient Mesopotamian lore, often described as wise sages, demigods, or even fishman hybrids with exceptional knowledge. Sounding familiar to Nomos previously mentioned in connection with Sirius and the Dogon tribe? Here's a deeper dive into these intriguing characters. The seven Apkallu were created by the god Enki, associated with wisdom, water, and creation. These incredible characters were believed to have existed before the Great Flood, bringing civilization and knowledge to mankind. They have been credited with establishing cities, teaching crafts and agriculture, and also setting laws. The Apkallu were often depicted as human-like figures with fish heads or wearing fish-skin garments and portrayed as bearded men with wisdom radiating from their eyes. These legendary figures appear in various Mesopotamian myths and legends, including the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is the most ancient story known on Earth, featuring ancient alien gods, giants, a great flood, and even space travel. Meet the seven Apkallu. Cloaked in mystery and myth, the seven Apkallu were more than just wise men. They were believed to be half human, half divine, each possessing superhuman wisdom and mastery over specific fields. Osiris and the Apkallu, a divine council. Evidence of these seven sages have been found all over the world in ancient antediluvian temples, often depicting the same fish skin and strange symbolic handbags. These sages have been called many different names in many different cultures. Some scholars have pointed most notably to their connection to Osiris, claiming they formed a divine council, shaping the destiny of ancient Egypt and possibly bringing their knowledge to civilizations across the planet. Whispers of Atlantis, a lost connection. The story of Osiris and the Apkallu Nomos takes an intriguing turn when we consider the legend of Atlantis. This seafaring civilization of legend, rumored to possess advanced knowledge and technology, vanished without a trace. Archaeological evidence has emerged across the planet by scholars who claim that records from various ancient civilizations suggest the occurrence of a devastating flood after a celestial event that occurred around 11,500 years ago. Coincidentally, not long before the emergence of Osiris in Egyptian civilization and the building of the Temple of Osiris, or the Assyrian in Abydos. Could these legendary bringers of civilization hold the key to an ancient advanced civilization? Some scholars believe the sages' wisdom and mastery over various fields echo the advanced abilities attributed to the Atlanteans. Could they be remnants of this lost civilization, their knowledge passed down through the ages? Or were they ancient astronauts who came in these ancient times to advise humanity and bring us to the next stage in our evolution? Bringers of civilization. As I mentioned before, the amphibious description and connection to the stars is very similar between the Apkallu of Mesopotamia and the Nomos of the Dogon tribe in Africa. Now let's explore these figures in the historical accounts from ancient civilizations on other continents. In Indian legends, there are 7 subterranean regions which are collectively called Patala or Nagaloka. These are the realms of the divine serpent beings called Nagas and other spirit beings called Datyas, Danavas, and Yakshas. all of whom are early versions of the 7 sages of Vedic tradition. The Nagas were generally depicted as a part human, part serpent form. Sounding familiar? Sometimes they were depicted with a 7-hooded serpent canopy over their head, guarding the entrances to Hindu temples. They are believed to be wise and powerful and act as the guardians of India on a specific day of the year. Naga Panchami for fertility, virility, and protection against snake bites. The subterranean regions where the Nagas dwell are said to be delightful, filled with resplendent palaces and ornamented with precious gems, groves, lakes, and rivers. The sun and moon cannot be seen there, but the jewels decorating the hoods and body of the Nagas emit an effulgence that illuminates the region. In Southeast Asia, the indigenous people believe that the Nagas are the benefactors and protectors of humanity. They are capable of changing their forms, and Naga princesses are said to have married human kings in the past. They assisted people in establishing cities, digging irrigation channels, and protecting dams. But if the kings or the subjects become wicked, the Nagas punish people by releasing excess water, which causes disastrous floods that wipe away villages. As per Thai beliefs, the serpent lives in the subterranean watery kingdom called Muang Badan, which is the endless water source that keeps the Mekong River and all rivers of the world from drying out. Moving on to Central and South America, many tribes such as the Hopi, Mayans, and Aztec have stories of subterranean serpent-like beings who came to teach them knowledge. The Aztec god Quetzalcoatl is very similar to Osiris in description as a patron of science, fertility, and agriculture, depicted as a feathered serpent. During the Roman times, Osiris, whom the Romans called Serapis, and his consort Isis were depicted by the Greco-Roman sculptures as part or full serpents, resembling the Naga serpents of Asia. Obviously, the Romans understood the connection with Osiris and the so-named Nagas. It is generally believed that Serapis was derived from the worship of Osiris and his sacred bull Apis, who were together known as Usirhapi. Interestingly, a temple of Serapis existed in Babylon. The deity of this temple was consulted when Alexander the Great was on his deathbed. Now back to the Apkallu. When it comes to the Sumerians in ancient Mesopotamia, it was the god Ea or Enki who was called Sar Apsi, meaning king of the Apsu. It is possible that the Romans took the term Serapis from Sar Apsi, the title of Ea, who ruled in Apsu and sent the Apkallu to Babylon in antediluvian times. Although the representations of Ea do not reveal any snake-like features, one of the Sumerian epithets of Ea was Ushumgal, which means the Great Serpent. This opens up the possibility of a serpent aspect in Ea, although the term Great Serpent could also be a metaphor for a man of great wisdom, for Ea was the wisest of the Mesopotamian gods. Unraveling the mysteries, evidence and speculation. While evidence remains elusive, intriguing connections emerge. Osiris and his association with these amphibious advisors from the stars or subterranean world aligns with the theories of Atlantis' astronomical knowledge. Their mastery over fields like engineering and medicine hints at an advanced technology and understanding. Could these characters of legend actually be ancient astronauts of extraterrestrial origin? Beyond the sages, legacy and lessons. The story of the Nomos, 7 sages, Apkallu, or Nagas transcends mere historical and mythological intrigue. The coincidences between these ancient advanced amphibious beings spanning several continents and cultures suggest the existence of an advanced race from antiquity either on Earth or from the stars. Their legacy whispers across time, urging us to value diverse perspectives, embrace curiosity, and strive for a deeper understanding of the universe and ourselves. This connection fuels speculation about a possible ancient alien connection. Did these beings share their wisdom with the Egyptians and other civilizations across the planet, possibly shaping their mythology and architecture? While evidence remains elusive, the possibility intrigues scholars and enthusiasts alike. The Osirian, the Temple of Abydos. 7 miles from the Nile River, the Temple of Abydos is deep in the Egyptian desert and quite a journey off the beaten track. By 5400 BC, Abydos in Egypt was a thriving city, and 2,000 years later, pre-dynastic pharaohs were still building shrines, temples, and mortuaries at the site. Seti I added his own masterpiece in the 13th century BC. An elegant temple featuring a series of interconnected halls and side chambers covered from floor to ceiling in exquisite friezes, murals, and hieroglyphs. Still, people had long before been coming here to witness another hidden wonder, the Osirian, perhaps an ancient antediluvian structure. About 12,000 years ago, the region bore no resemblance to the dry desert it is now. The climate was wetter, it sustained a lush landscape, and to the west, where now lies an endless desert, there existed an inland sea, much of which drained into the Atlantic when the events that generated the Great Flood and closed the Younger Dryas changed the region. The scholar Diodorus of Sicily describes how it disappeared from sight in the course of an earthquake, when those parts of it which lay toward the ocean were torn asunder, leaving behind the Sahara. A small saltwater lake at Siwa is all that remains. As mentioned before, the Osirian is now 7 miles from the Nile, but when it was originally built, it stood right next to the river. This is evidence attesting to the extremely ancient antiquity of the temple, which has been said to be the most ancient megalithic structure in Egypt. Beyond the religious significance, Abydos served as a center of learning. These ancient texts shed light on Egyptian medicine, astronomy, and even mathematics, making Abydos a treasure trove of intellectual discovery. A gallery hall in the temple hosts an ancient list of pharaohs and kings going all the way back to the reign of Menes and possibly following Osiris himself. One of the most incredible hallmarks of Abydos is the Abydos carvings or helicopter hieroglyphs. These glyphs appear to show a helicopter or possibly a submarine, 2 planes, and even a disc-shaped UFO, all of which most likely did not exist at the time that the glyphs were carved. So Egyptologists claim that these glyphs were partially covered and then recarved from Ramesses' original carvings during the reign of Seti I. They say that a partial covering came off in an earthquake in modern times, and with the mix of newer and older carvings, there gives an impression of glyphs resembling modern technology. But this is still all up for debate. The temple wasn't just a place of worship, it was Osiris's earthly embodiment. Its intricate designs and symbolism mirrored the god's journey through death and rebirth. Hieroglyphs whisper tales of his resurrection, and hidden chambers echo whispers of the afterlife. Exploring the Osirian, you will find a subterranean labyrinth network of tunnels leading into a cenotaph, a symbolic tomb representing Osiris's resurrection. Beyond the theories, legacy and lessons. While Osiris's link to Sirius represents a literal extraterrestrial connection or a profound understanding of the cosmos, his legacy endures. It speaks to our inherent fascination with the universe, our desire to connect with the divine, and the cyclical nature of life itself. Osiris' journey through death and resurrection transcends cultural boundaries, offering hope and solace even in the face of darkness. This journey through the celestial mysteries of Osiris and Sirius is just the beginning. We invite you to share your own theories, delve deeper into the research, and keep your mind open to the possibilities. Could there be an ancient alien connection waiting to be discovered? What other astronomical knowledge did the Egyptians possess? Thanks everyone, until next time. Over and out.